Evening, everyone. I hope you're well. I wasn't going to do a stream today, but I thought I would because there's been a bit more news. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. And I appreciate all your comments that I've seen on my channel. It's quite humbling to know that you support the channel. And I've also got a couple of moderators on now, so just let me know what you need to do, guys. If you need to do anything, let me know, because I don't really know how it works. Kind of new to this. Wanted to cover off a couple of things today. I wanted to go over injuries and also have a look at what we could look like with a better injury record next season, and kind of give you a full overview of how injuries affected us last year and just the extent of the injuries to some of the players, and just kind of look at the whole team in general. I also wanted to go over the starting lineup for Ipswich, and also the full squad, which was in training recently. Also, links to loan players out. Someone's already left, another player's left today. There's a new player that's linked, which I've talked about extensively last year, and we'll have a look at him. And also, we'll also have a look at are there any other number sixes in the world? Because we seem to think there isn't. So wanted to have a look at that. And I think that's everything covered. I hope you enjoyed the show yesterday. I know it went on for quite a long time, but we did go over all of the fixtures and also looked at the total points tally that we felt that we could achieve. And it was interesting to see that everybody thought we'd get more than 83 points. So that's more than the last 2 years. So for me, that's successful, isn't it? Anyway, I know there's a lot of people having meltdowns, and I know there's a lot of channels that are writing, doing shows on how bad we've been, how bad we are, why aren't we doing this, why aren't we doing that. I seem to be the only channel that's kind of took a bit of a chill pill on it, but we'll have a look at that. I wanted to start with the injury side of things because I think this is a really important component in how we're going to fare next season. So I'm going to share my screen like I always do and kind of go through a website which looks at injuries in general. Okay, so I'm going to go through. In fact, you know what? I'm going to flip it the other way. Yesterday I did the fixtures at the end of the show, which took about half an hour. So what I'll do is I'll do the injuries at the end, and I'll do the players, the loans, the transfers, the number sixes. I'll do all of that for the first half hour, and then the last half hour I'll do the injuries, because that could take a bit more time. I also want to be wary because there's other shows that are starting at like 11:30 and 12, so I don't want to really encroach into their show time. I think it's fair that you should be able to watch all of your Liverpool content, and all of your content providers should vary their shows to give the fan base enough time to go and watch other shows as well. Because I know that GTV's is just ending, so that's why I did mine now. That makes sense. If I've got any new subscribers as well, please write your name in the chat, and we'll give you a hello and a shout out. And if there's any like hate or any bad stuff wrote in the chat, moderators, can you please just remove them? It's starting to kind of grind my gears the way that's been recently. But hopefully everyone's respectful and we have a good time here today, and we cover lots of things that are interesting. And if you've got anything to add, please add. It's all about debate, and it's all about finding out your point of view as well. Otherwise, it's just me talking by myself, and not having any interaction. So first of all, I will stop sharing that screen because I'm not going to cover that now. So what we'll start with is we will start with the Zubimendi piece, which is really, really interesting because it looks like we've found out the real reason why Zubimendi has rejected Liverpool. And if you agree, then I think it's a fair enough reason. Okay, so I'm going to show you this now, and you can all agree or disagree what you think. But Zubimendi turned down Liverpool because his family, his wife and children, insisted they're not ready to leave Spain. That's the real reason why Zubimendi has turned down the move. Okay, his family don't want to come to a foreign country. His family don't want to move to England. Can we all just be quite respectful about that now, and kind of understand that this is a personal reason? Like, he may well have said yes, but then he's got to go away and speak to his family, and his family have said no. So this is the reason why. Okay, I was so close to joining Liverpool. It's always been my dream, but my wife and children insisted they are not ready to start a life outside of Spain. I respect their decision. That is the being all and end all of it. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah. There you go. That's it. Respect his decisions, respect his reasons. 100%. 100%. So please don't go onto his Twitter. Please don't hate him. Like, this is the real reason why. Yeah. And there you go. Okay. Kind of want to put that behind us now. And I don't want Liverpool trying to offer 80 million quid and trying to bribe his family out of the country. Like, because that's just not going to work. Like, how many times have we had issues where players played in a foreign country and their family stayed in other countries and they always wanted to go back? Do you remember Tevez? Remember the issues with Tevez? Yeah, I think so too. Okay, so next we're going to move on to a potential player moving to Spain on loan, and this is Stefan Bajcetic. So we got three big clubs: Seville, Celta Vigo, and Valencia are all in the mix, and they're all interested in taking him on loan. The interesting one is Valencia, actually, because we're obviously signing Mamardashvili from them, and he's going to join us in 2025. But at the moment, he's going on loan to Bournemouth for, I think it's 4 million a year. I think they're paying his loan deal, so he's not actually costing us anything, by the way, for the first year. So, but we'll be spending 29 million on him, as in an actual fee to secure his services for next year. It's a fair point. It's a fair point, but at the end of the day, there's other number sixes, by the way, and I wanted to go over that in a bit. There's 46 of you in here. Appreciate everyone joining tonight. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. I got over 100 likes on my last show, so if we can get around 25, that'll be absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. Also wanted to share this as well. Paul Robinson, who got 41 caps for England, thinks Mamardashvili is an outstanding talent. He's just getting better and better. We saw his ability in the Euros. He's agile, great ability to get down low and uses his feet very well. He's a modern day goalkeeper. He thinks he's a stellar signing who can only improve. I also wanted to go through some of his stats here as well. Just want to double check I'm sharing this. Yeah. So some of his stats. He had a masterclass in Hamburg. He's had 13 clean sheets last season in 37 games, 35% ratio compared to 28% against Ali. Two stoppers have broadly similar returns in terms of top flight goals conceded, with the Georgian letting 41, which is 1.1 per game, to Liverpool's 30, which is 1.7. You have to look at the difference in the teams as well. Like Valencia are a team that's fighting to get into Europa League, where Liverpool's fighting to win a league. Just like Keller, Mamardashvili also excels in penalty situations with 50% of his spot kicks. Top 7% goalkeepers in the world. He's also proven to be more than capable operator at a high level. After a few months in the Premier League in Bournemouth, he should stand out. I think he's a cracking player. I think it's a really good signing. Really good signing. Great bit of business by Liverpool, if you ask me. A couple of other players linked with. I don't know whether this is true or not, but Rafinha has been linked with us again as a potential move, with Diaz going the opposite direction. I know that Barcelona are desperate to get rid of this guy, and it's a bit of an odd one because he's actually quite good for them. Like, his numbers are a little bit better than Diaz's for Barcelona as he is for Liverpool. So it's an interesting one, but his name keeps on popping up. So he got 10 goals and 13 assists in the Premier League. Former lead star, previously shown in the Premier League. He impressed last season. He's grabbed 10 goals and 13 assists, but only made 17 La Liga starts. I mean, they're good numbers. Like, they are good numbers in the amount of starts he has. I don't know. I think maybe the Rafinha problem is his boss are just like playing kids, but they're trying to get him off the books. I ain't got more info on him, and also the stuff that you see about Verratti, just ignore that. Like, we're never going to pay a guy the same wages as Salah when he's 32 and he's riddled with injuries all the time. So I don't see any truth in that one. What else have I got for you? Yeah, I've got a little bit more info on the left back that's been mentioned, De Kuiper. Like, I didn't realise that he's actually scored 20 goals and 27 assists. He's a bit of a monster in his league. So he's also drawing interest from Real Betis, Seville, Marseille, Ajax, and Wolfsburg. You know, these are the type of players that we should be signing before they go on to these clubs. We talked about the why didn't we get Guardiola before he went to Leipzig? You know, why didn't we get these players before they went to the next club? Well, this is what we're now going to start doing. So last year, he scored 5 goals and provided 15 assists in 63 appearances last year. But when he had a loan spell before last year, he got 15 goals and 12 assists in 68 games. So he's also a player that's never injured. Like, for me, if you got him as your left backup, you know, I think that's a good signing. And he's also a Belgian international. So I think it's an interesting one that may have some legs. It may go somewhere. I mean, the numbers are just there, aren't they? So it's an interesting one. I know you can see the video of Brighton in the background. Brighton are doing some business. Like, Brighton are buying players for like 20 million and loaning them out. Like, seems like they're Seems like there's never any change with Brighton. They just carry on rolling. It's like the manager has no dealings with the system. Like it's like the manager's there to manage the team, and the system just keeps on rolling. Like they keep on churning out these youngsters. They keep on buying players, loaning them out, uh, then selling them on. Like the chain is always ongoing with Brighton. It's really interesting. It's interesting to see whether Liverpool end up like that under Hughes and Edwards. It'd be interesting to see, but I feel like Slot has got quite a lot of say at the moment because he's new, and we kind of want to make sure that he's got everything he needs um, before we throw any spanners in the works by signing players that maybe he doesn't want and bringing just extra bodies in that maybe he doesn't need. Um, but the Maxime, the Maxime the Maxime de Kuiper one is interesting. He looks a good player on paper. Another player linked out of the club is Seth van der Berg. If Jonathan Tah goes to Bayern Munich, then there's a high possibility. I mean, there's a very high possibility that Jonathan Tah does go to Bayern Munich because they've just sold De Ligt to Man United, and they had to sell him to make the space for Tah to go. So I think when Tah goes, I then think Nkapie is then going to go into central defence, which means that we're not going to be able to sign Nkapie because he's going to be the player that moves into the defence more and plays more games, which means that he then becomes a first team player instead of backup, which he was last season. He played a lot of Champions League and Cup games, and that's why he wasn't happy because he felt like he was a first team player because he was the season before. So, and they want to get Sepp van der Berg as their backup to the first team. Unfortunately, at the moment, Sepp van der Berg is backup to the backup for our first team. So he wants first team football. He's not going to play many games for Liverpool. He will play 30 plus games for Bayer Leverkusen next season, and they've got Champions League as well. So he will get more game time with Bayer Leverkusen than he will with Liverpool. So it makes sense that we would sell him. And it's interesting the relationship we might gain with Bayer Leverkusen because I think it's a good one for us to be able to strike a good relationship with Leverkusen because they have a lot of players that could work for us in the future. And if Xabi Alonso goes to Real Madrid next year, then maybe there's players there that we might be able to look at for us because he won't be there. Anyway, that's the Sepp van der Berg update. I also wanted to look at this little tidbit, which is Fabrizio Romano. I just wanted to read the whole piece because it's quite interesting. As the Premier League season approaches, Liverpool fans find themselves in a familiar position of anxious anticipation. The summer transfer window is being marked by frustration with the Reds yet to make the impactful signings that they may have hoped for. Amid the uncertainty, Fabrizio Romano's comments offer a glimpse into the club's transfer strategy, but do they provide enough reassurance for concerned supporters? So I just wanted to read this out. Liverpool's transfer strategy, the stewardship of Michael Edwards, has long been categorised careful and planning and patience. The club has typically avoided the temptation to rush into signings, preferring instead to wait for the right opportunities. This approach has brought success in the past, but this summer has left fans feeling increasingly uneasy. Fabrizio Romano, in his daily briefing, echoed the sentiment. He noted Liverpool are still exploring several. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Seven options in the market. Did you hear that? So that's not first choice, that's second choice, and that's third choice. So if we're talking about 7 players, then if we're talking about 3 centre-backs, or 2 centre-backs, or 2 midfielders, or 2 left-backs, or 2 right-wingers, 7 is a good number. Means that first choice could mean second choice as well. So I just wanted to put that out there. That Fabrizio Romano said the word several. Okay, several options in the market. They will just not sign for the sake of it. But if they find the right opportunity, while this aligns with the club's established philosophy, the lack of new arrivals, particularly in key areas such as defence, has highlighted concerns as the start of the season draws near. Okay, and that's, we don't need to go into any more details, but isn't that interesting? And this was after the Zubimendi, so that's another player not in that list. The magic number 7. Anyway, there you go. I mean, you might say he hasn't got a clue what's going on in Liverpool, but why say it? Why say 7? Why say 7? For me, the players in modern football don't always have to be the only player that fits a position. With 5 subs, yeah, I agree. I agree. 7 doesn't mean 7 doesn't mean 7 KMack. It just means more than a couple. Okay, well, more than a couple's better than one, in it, which is what we all thought Zubimendi was. So that's all I'm saying. I'm only reading you out what he said. Okay, don't come with the messenger. Okay. Anyway, this could be one of the 7. Okay, his agent is in the UK now. Okay. Okay, so Liverpool, I'm not long left in the transfer. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Liverpool could possibly see a breakthrough in the hunt for Sporting centre-back Gonzalo Inacio. According to Portuguese newspaper, Miguel Pinto, who is also Bruno Fernandes' representative, is currently in England after the United captain committed his future. It said Pinto will now hold conversations with Liverpool over Inacio's future. Like, I don't know whether this is putting 2 and 2 and getting 5. I don't know. But he's in the country and he's just done the Bruno Fernandes renewal. So we know that's just happened. And if this newspaper's saying that he's now going to Liverpool, which is only 50 miles away from Manchester, to look at an Inacio deal, then I'm all for it. Like I talked about Inacio last season. I think he's a great player. I think he's come on leaps and bounds. I think he's a solid player as a centre back. He's a solid left back. He's really good on the ball. His advanced passing is fantastic. He's Portuguese. Portuguese players do really well in the Premier League, and they don't have an issue coming to the Premier League. He's ready for a big move. He came into the Sporting team 4 years ago, so he's been playing football for a long time. He's a Portuguese international. He's 23. We could get him for 38 million, I believe. I'm just going to have a look at the numbers. He had a £51 million release clause, but Inacio's release clause was set at 38 million. And they believe a fee in the region could tempt them in doing a deal. They haven't sold anyone. They're also trying to fight. Oh, he's 25. He's not 25. He's not 25. I don't know why they're saying he's 25. He's not 25. I think he's 23 or 24. But he's definitely a player that we've looked at before. I think he'd be a great signing. I ain't got any issues there. How do we feel about that? Do we feel that Inacio would be a good signing? How do we feel? Do we feel Inacio would be a good signing for Liverpool? He's someone that we've looked at before. He's 21. Okay, so they're 4 years out. I thought he was 20, 22 or 23. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Liverpool fans' patience is on the brink. Big up Sean, by the way. Evening. Yeah, a lot of people think he's a good signing. That's good to see. How does several mean 3? He said 7. He said 7. Cool. Oh, you're unsure. Why are you unsure of him, Philip? He won the league last season. He won the league last season in Portugal. If Sepp goes, then get Inacio. Makes sense. Sepp could be going, so I've already covered Sepp. So Sepp could be going, which means that, and interesting as well, because like, you know, the money that we get for Sepp and the money that we get for Carvalho just pays for him. So you still got huge cash injection that you can use for the midfield. Yeah, he's better than Sepp and Nat. He's absolutely is. I also think he's better than Andy Robertson and Kostas Tsimikas. For me, I think if we signed him, I think he comes in as a left back next season and he starts. Like, I haven't got an issue with that. Like, I'd be more than happy to play him next year. Maybe have a bit of a period where he gets up to speed, where he comes on as a sub a couple of times, maybe plays a couple of cup games just to get him up to speed at Liverpool. But I'd be more than happy to have him. Yep, I've got some info on Kone. I'm also doing a comparison on number 6s, and Kone's in that pile, so we'll have a look at that as well. Planning for success means planning for injuries. If you listen to the start of the show, I'm going to do a piece on injuries in a minute, where I go over the injuries of players and just see how much that could change us for next year if we mitigate those injuries. Okay, so I've covered that. So that's all of the updates I've got on ingoings and outgoings, apart from one other player who's left, which is we've now got where is it? Just gonna quickly share this screen. That video to stop. Yep. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly share this screen. So on the players out on loan, if you can see that, we've now got Lewis Kumas, Lucas Stevenson's gone to Dundee United, which is an interesting one because that's where Owen Beck went last year, and he had a good loan period. So it's interesting to see that we've kind of followed the footsteps there, and they took another guy from us. Big up 12th man, hope you're well. Also big up Trigger TV, and big up Football Talk podcast, big up. So yeah, you can see that the loans are starting to stack up of players going. You can add McConnell to that soon. You can probably add Ben Doak to that soon. Actually, we can go through this now. So you can probably add Ben Doak to the loans, which then leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers with Jayden Dans as backup. You can also add Kate Gordon to that, but Kate Gordon's not part of the squad. You can add Stefan Baccetis to that loan. You can add Bobby Clark to being sold because he's already had the bid accepted, so he'll be moving soon. The likes of Nat Phillips, you can add that to the sales, and also Sepp van der Berg, I believe, will probably end up going as well. So you can see that the squad will start getting smaller, but there's plenty of additions and there's plenty of players in there to fill positions, and you've still got the likes of Amara Nallo as a centre back, as a fifth choice centre back or sixth choice. Callum Scanlon staying. You'll also have Trey, who'll be staying. Obviously, Luca's gone, but these are players that won't be in the first team. Harvey Blair's going as well. Kate Gordon will be going. Jaden Dans will be back up for the forwards as well, so he'll be your sixth choice forward. So there's plenty of players there who've also got a pathway to get more first team football, which is what I talked about yesterday, which is what Liverpool are trying to do. They're trying to make a pathway for the players that they feel are going to be more successful, like the likes of Trey and the likes of Nallo, and the likes of Dans. Like, these guys are going to be more successful than your McConnells and your Dokes and your Bobby Clarks. They don't see them as being more successful than these, which is interesting. So I wanted to cover for the next little piece was go through the injuries. So last year, so this is a list of the team last year. Okay. And I just wanted to show you, just as a breakdown, this is just Premier League only, by the way, Premier League only, of the amount of players or the amount of injuries that players missed from the first team. Okay. And if we can even half that, which is why we've got Slot, if we can even half the amount of injuries, then you can see how much more, how bigger the squad will be and how stronger the team will be over the year with these guys being able to be on the pitch more. Okay, so I just wanted to cover that off, and I just wanted to show you visually of how many games and what games these guys missed. And I also wanted to show you where I think we went wrong last season, and how I feel we missed winning the league last season because of some of the players that weren't played, and to just show you the actual moment where you can see the drop off. Like, you can see the games we lost and the games we drew, and you can see before that the fact that we had a lot of form, and then it waned away, and it's because we brought certain individuals back into the team. And I just wanted to visualize that as well, because you can see it with the actual players when I show you them. And this won't happen. This won't happen under the new manager. Like, it's not going to be you play your mates. It's going to be you play the players that are available, and you play the players that are ready and are the right players for the games. So there's no mates involved, which is what happened last year, and it's what happened over a number of years, I believe. And probably the reason why we haven't won as many trophies is because somebody kept on playing their mates when their mates weren't good enough, or their mates needed a rest. Anyway, I think we've got a new subscriber here as well, so I just wanted to say hello. Big up Red Vision. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so let's cover this. Here we go. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at Alisson Becker. So he's 31 now. So this was last year. Okay, so just to visualize it. So this was the start of the year with Alisson. So in the first team. Looking very good, by the way. Great form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 games. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 games drawn. Wasn't a fault for anything really in those games, if I'm honest. I'm completely honest. Man City was a bit iffy, but still pulled off some incredible saves. You remember that save at the end of the game as well. And obviously we lost to Tottenham through the own goal from Joel Matip, by the way. Just in case you didn't remember that. So you can see that huge block where Alisson was brilliant, solid. Yep. And then he got injured here. He got injured for these 2 games. And this is obviously where Caoimhin Keller came in and we won. And then Alisson came back into the team again, as you can see. So we carried on with this block here. So we carried on with this block of games, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games won, 2 drawn. He was great in those 2 games as well, by the way. I wouldn't put him at fault for those goals. He was at fault for the Arsenal game. Okay. And then he was then absent for that patch there. Okay. So let's just break this down. When Alisson's playing, we rarely lose any games. Okay. And we go into a real run of games where he's not out of form. He never really drops in form. He had a bit of a wobble in the Arsenal game, if I'm honest, but him and Virgil, every once in a while, your world-class players have a stinker. I believe a couple of substitutions. I believe the right-hand side was the issue in that game. If I'm completely honest, we had no defence on the right-hand side in that game. We also could have won that game as well if we really think about it. We were on top at one stage in the second half. Anyway, that's regardless. As you can see, Ali missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he missed 10 Premier League games last season. Yep. If he doesn't miss those 10 games, do you think all of those games there will be the same, will be wins? Because I think the Man United game, he would have saved some of them. The Manchester City game, I mean, Keller was absolutely sensational, but I still think their goal, Ali might have saved that. So you've got your world-class goalkeeper, who's probably the best goalie in the world, in those games as well. I think it would have been a different story. But then we have to look at, he then came back in and he wasn't in great form when he came back in because he got thrown straight back into the team after missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He missed a huge chunk, 2 months of no football, and then got thrown back into the Palace game cold, and we lost. And then we lost the Everton game. Personally, I think it was a bad decision. I think Keller should have stayed in the team for the rest of the season. He'd already proven how well he'd done in this patch. Should have just left him in. Should have just left him in, or at least kept him in for a few more games and let Ali. I mean, it's the run-in. Like, for me, I think that was a big faux pas, and it showed. You got a draw with West Ham. You got a loss against Everton. You got a loss against Palace. You got a draw against Villa. Like, big games. Ali didn't make any of those mistakes in these ones. You know, I feel like the injury record there, if that's flipped on its head, it's a different story. With your first team goalkeeper being fit the whole season, it's a different story. Anyway, we just covered Alisson. Okay. So we're not going to cover Keller, but what I will show you with Keller though is I will just show you that Keller didn't actually play as much as we think he did. Okay, Keller was on the bench pretty much half of the season before he got a chance. Really, he played against Fulham, playing against Sheffield United. Okay, conceded 3 games against Fulham, but they were all really good goals in that game, to be fair. But he played all of those. He benched all of those games. He had an injury against Brighton, but he would have been on the bench anyway. And to be fair, Ali was probably at fault for one of the Brighton goals, if I remember correctly. I think there was an own goal in that as well, if I remember. Anyway, you can see that he didn't play a huge amount of football, and he's probably not going to next year, which is why we should sell him, if I'm honest. If he's not going to play, then let him play somewhere else and let us get a good chunk of money to buy Mamardashvili with him. Anyway, you can see when he was benched here, the form wasn't great for Ali. So I think there's an element of blame into taking him out when he played so well. Like, he was brilliant over this patch, not one game defeated, and to then just get dumped. This is what I talk about, playing your mates. I just don't think the new manager will do that. Just don't think the manager will do that. The new manager will do that. You'll pick what's right. Anyway, there's 93 of you in here. If you can hit the like and subscribe, please do. And we'll move on to the defenders. We'll look at Trent. So this is an interesting one as well, because it gives you the man of the match and also whether they were in the team of the week. If you don't know, if you'd like to look yourself, the website's called footballlineups.com. Just if you want to look. So obviously, just looking at Trent. So Trent missed the Wolves and West Ham game, which didn't make a difference because we won, but he still missed 2 games. You can obviously see his impact in games. He was subbed quite a lot. So the first patch of games before he got injured, he was taken off twice, and he was also booked twice, and he got an assist in the Villa game. He was good in that game, and then he missed 2 games, and then he came back for Tottenham and only played 16 minutes. He probably shouldn't have even come on in that game, if I'm honest. He was subbed in the Brighton game. He was subbed in the Forest game. He got man of the match in the Luton game. Let me just double check. He got man of the match in the Luton game, and he was also in team of the week in the Luton game, which we drew. Manchester City, he scored. Fulham, he scored, and he was man of the match. He got an assist in the Sheffield United game, and he was man of the match in the Palace game. And he was man of the match in the Man United game as well, even though he missed that big chance. Or was that against Man United? No, that was against Arsenal. And then he got an assist in the Arsenal game and missed that big chance. Burnley, Newcastle, Bournemouth, he missed with a knee injury. And this is where it all started as well with Trent. So he got a knee injury against before the Bournemouth game, and then we brought him back, and then he re-injured the knee again, if you remember. So subbed in the Chelsea game, came on in the Arsenal game and was terrible. Got an assist in the Burnley game, and then that was him out for a long stretch. So let's just break this down. He missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he missed 10 Premier League games, the same as Alisson, by the way, and that's our star right back. And when he was missed, we still never lost without him. Okay, we still never lost without him, but we had a draw against Manchester United and we had a draw against Manchester City. All I'm saying is if Slot managed his players better next year and gave Trent some game time where he's not playing against these dead rubbers, against bottom of the league teams, yeah, he's fit for the City game and he's fit for the United game. Do those games flip on their heads? Does that game become a 2-1? Because if you look at the Manchester United game, and this is me being completely honest with you and just looking at the numbers. If you compare the previous games against Manchester United and Manchester City, a huge rivalry, Trent was man of the match in the Manchester United game, and he scored in the Manchester City game. We missed him for the Manchester City game correspondingly after that, and the Manchester United game, and we drew both of those games. We drew those games too, yeah, but we also had other players missing. But it's the fact that you have him on the pitch. He could have changed those games. We've got a stronger team. We've got our vice captain. We've got a star right back. Just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. You keep him fitter. You don't play him as much. You don't make the mistake of bringing him back too early with a knee injury for him to then get the same knee injury again, which we all know about. This patch here, I can guarantee he wasn't fully fit, but we still played him because we needed him, and because Klopp didn't trust Bradley yet, probably. And I'm not pointing the blame at Jurgen. I'm not just pointing the blame at Jurgen. This goes to the coaching staff as well. Like, it really does. Like, we know there's been issues, but I'm just saying, this patch here, some of these could have been wins with Trent in the team, and having him missing for 10 games in the Premier League. This is just the Premier League, by the way. I'm not talking about other competitions, just the Premier League. I just think it's something to look at, because this is why we've got this guy to manage players better. I'm only up to Trent, by the way. Like, the conversation really does carry on with a lot of players. So we'll have a look at Bradley, and I just want to show you Bradley's rise and the fact that he just wasn't used. Like, look, he's got all of this patch here, never came on, never used, never came on. Like, what is that about? Like, why was he not used more? Like, he wasn't used as a sub. Like, I find that insane that you've got this guy who's fit. Sorry, he wasn't fit there. Sorry, he was fit here. He was still injured here. Sorry. And this is another conversation as well. Like, that massive injury he had here, he's going to be fit next season. It's like a new player. Like, I know we all talk about we're missing players and we haven't got signings. He's like a new signing. He really is like a new signing, because he wasn't available this part of the season, and then he was on the bench. Like he stayed on the bench for Man United and Arsenal. Like, I find that mental that he wasn't brought on in those games to change the game, but is what it is. But this is the difference in the Bradley bit. So So he came on against Bournemouth, got an assist, man of the match, Chelsea, goal, 2 assists, and then he was injured. Sorry, not injured. Then he had a family bereavement, so he's missing for 2 games. And then he came back, and then he was subbed a lot, and then Brighton, man of the match, Sheffield United, own goal, and then he just came back in, and then he got an ankle injury, and then he was missing again for a number of games. He's missing for the Everton game, which we probably missed him a lot, and the West Ham game. Just saying, these guys, if they're not injured, look at the impact they can have. And then he was benched for pretty much the rest of the season, which I find odd, but he was. He never came off the bench against Villa, and we drew that game. I know we didn't. I know it didn't mean anything in the end, but this is the difference in having this coach who's willing to play everyone, and everybody has a chance, and he will be looking at how many games players have played, how much training they've done. Are they ready? Are they ready to go again? No, okay, take them out. The utilisation of 5 subs in every game is going to be really important. So I just wanted to show you the Bradley influence and the fact that he is like having a new player. Next up, we're going to look at Joe Gomez. I think this is a really interesting one, by the way. So Joe Gomez, on the bench, Chelsea, and then sub, then played 3 games, 3 wins, subbed on the Tottenham game, sub again, just kept on being a sub. Then he got a knock, so he missed 1 game. Then he was benched for the City game. He should have played that game, if I'm honest, is what it is. And then just subs again, subbed a lot. Then this is where he starts kicking in with his form. Gomez is all about form. Play Gomez more form he gets, more he gets into his routine. Burnley, Newcastle, Bournemouth, win, got an assist against Bournemouth. Then he was subbed these games. Then he was absent with an illness, and then he just kicks in again with a nice long patch here. Man of the match against Sheffield United, and then patchy sub, and this is when our form kind of fell off a cliff. And I believe it fell off a cliff because Joe Gomez wasn't played again, if I'm completely honest. Palace game, he was benched. Got 10 minutes against Fulham, got 6 minutes against Everton. Why? Why playing for 6 minutes? Odd. Then got 11 minutes against West Ham, and didn't even play against Wolves. So, yeah, Gomez stopped getting played, and we started falling off because we played Robinson instead. And I think Gomez should have just carried on playing. Might have been a different story for that patch there because he wasn't involved. So the Everton and Palace games could have been a different story. Man United could have been different if he played instead of being a sub. It's interesting. He only missed 2 games through injury, by the way. The rest of them he was either benched or subbed. So Gomez had a fully fit season for me. Just wasn't utilised enough. Then you got Konate. This is an interesting one, by the way. This is the reason why we should sell Konate. He's not reliable. Chelsea, 2 games, and then injured. 7 minutes as a sub, on the bench for West Ham, sub. Played a couple of games and then got a thigh injury, so missed that game. So we're missing 1, 2, 3 games already. used as a sub a lot, back in the team, benched for some games. Then he was red carded, so he missed the game. Then he was benched. Then he was injured again. But I mean, the underlying factor here as well, which we need to look at, is the games we lost, Canate played in, and the games we drew, Canate played in as well, which is really interesting. You know, we could have done with him against Man City. That's a fair point. He's good in the big games. We should play him against Man United, to be fair, but we didn't. That could have been a different story. I don't know. He played in that game we lost. He played in that game we lost. He played in that game we lost. We didn't lose many games. He also played in that game, Tottenham game, and we lost. Played in the Chelsea game we drew. Played in the Brighton game we drew. Played in the Luton game we drew. Played in the Arsenal game and United game that we drew. Just giving you numbers. I hope he does improve, but I don't think he quite fits the style. And if you're trying to improve a player's style of play that they're used to at the age of 25, you kind of going into a bit of a project mold, isn't he? When Quansah he can do exactly what Slot wants him to do, and to be fair, Gomez can, and to be fair, Sepp van der Beek can as well. And obviously Virgil van Dijk's just a natural at it. So it's an interesting one. But I just wanted to point that out, that the games we drew and the games we lost, Canate played in or was on the bench. Really interesting. It's really interesting, that one. He didn't miss a lot of games through injury, but he didn't get played for a lot of games because he wasn't trusted. So wanted to just show you the Matip thing where it happened. So he's benched for the first 2 games for Canate. Came on as a sub, Newcastle, then played again for a bit, scored the own goal, which lost us the Tottenham game, which could have been a deciding factor in the league, if I'm honest. Because at one stage we would have been 5 points clear instead of 2. Just saying. Sub to Brighton, Everton, then started to get benched, played a few games, and then the massive injury, knee injury, that just put him out for the rest of the season. So we lost the player completely there. That could have been a different story. Could have been a different story if we kept him fit. We could have won a lot more, probably won the league if we had him. But then Quansah wouldn't have appeared, so we'd never have a Quansah. Just wanted to say that. Matip's gone now, so that's a player gone. Just show you where Quansah kind of stepped into the team. So Quansah was absent, so he wasn't even on the bench. So he didn't exist in the first team for the first 2 games. Then he came on as a sub, Newcastle, Villa, Wolves. Then was on the bench for West Ham, and then wasn't even on the bench for Tottenham. Then bench wasn't even in the first team. You know, you can see that Quansah wasn't even in the reckoning for some games. Then he became a sub or a bench player all the way from this point in November. So this is how new Quansah is. It was only November last season where he became a squad player. And we're now in August the next year, and he's now a first team player and an England international potentially. It's insane. It's insane how quickly things can turn around. And this is really where Quansah came in, is this patch here. he wasn't even a first team starter in this area because he was still in and out. So he really only became a first team player in April last year, where he got himself in the team and just kept himself in the team. And he obviously got man of the match in the last 2 games of the season and scored. So this is really where Quansah became a Liverpool first team player, is between February and March last year, which is insane because it's only August now. So he's not that new to Liverpool, really. It's crazy. And I can tell you how many Premier League games he's played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He's only played 17 Premier League games. And we're all talking about him being our right-hand sided first starting centre-back, which is crazy. It's crazy. He's played less than 17 Premier League, less than 20 Premier League games, and he's come on that well. It's crazy, but there you go. That's how quickly it can change. And this is what I'm talking about. We have players that we still have in the team, like Stef van der Berg, could literally do what Quansah does and become a regular next season. And we're throwing him under the bus, saying we should get rid of him or we need all these other players. This guy came from nowhere and now he's a first team player. Need to just pause and look at the squad, because there's a big squad we have. Anyway, that's Quansah. Andy Robinson, kind of show you where we fell off a cliff when he came back into the team. Played really well, start of the season, lots of wins, good form, got a goal against Wolves, and then he broke his collarbone and he missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games, and we never missed him. And we didn't miss him because we won or drawn all of those games. There was no real drop off without him. When he came back as a sub, because he was a sub for a lot of those games, he didn't play a huge amount, but we carried on normal. We carried on doing well. We carried on doing well when he was a sub. He got another injury. He missed the Brighton game, but we didn't miss him. Came on as a sub, Sheffield United, and this is where it went wrong. When he came straight back in, we started losing games and drawing games, unfortunately. I think we should have kept Gomez there. I think it would have made a difference, but that's just my opinion. A fit Andy Robertson next year, fully rested. I don't know. Hopefully we can have a start like this with him. Obviously not losing to Tottenham, but hopefully we can have a start like this. Obviously not drawn our first game either, by the way, but hopefully we can have a good start where we win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9 games out of 10 to start the first part of the season. Sandy Robinson. Just wanted to cover Tsimikas. Tsimikas is an interesting one because Klopp just didn't rate him. Just really didn't rate him. Benched him a lot. Came on for 4 minutes against Bournemouth. Sub a few times. So he played a few games, subbed a few games. With Gomez, kind of swapped. Benched him against Sheffield United. No idea why. Just did. When he got an assist the game before, and he got 2 assists against Brentford. Played really well. We won loads of games, and he just got benched. No idea. Played him again in those games. Played really well. Wasn't a fault for anything. Then he got the injury at the Arsenal game, and then he was out with a collarbone injury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games he missed, which is insane because it looked like a really bad injury. then played him for 1 minute against Burnley, and then benched him, and then played him for 6 minutes, and then just benched him again. Like, and he was available. He didn't even make it onto the bench for the Palace game, and then he was just an outcast. Then, like, what was the point in having him? So, Tsimikas is a different one. Next year, he's probably going to get more game time unless he gets sold. But we know what you think there. Maybe should have been given more of a chance. Maybe should have been rotated more. But he was given 13 minutes in 4 months by Klopp. Like, that's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. I'm sorry. It just is. Like, it just is. Like, guy shouldn't be getting 13 minutes in 3 months. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. That's Tsimikas. I'm not gonna cover Virgil van Dijk. The interesting thing about Virgil van Dijk, though, which I will say, is he gets a lot. He gets a lot of team of the week. So he's in a lot of the team of the weeks as a player, but he doesn't get man of the match much. Virgil van Dijk. I just wanted to point that out. And he actually got an assist in West Ham and assist in Tottenham. Like, he got a few assists last season as well, which is interesting because he got more assists than Gravenberch, which is just crazy considering Gravenberch is actually in the midfield. And he scored 3 goals as well. He only scored 1 goal less than Gravenberch. Just pointing that out. And he's also done more last season than Ben Doak's done in his entire career, assisting goals wise, which is just, we rave about a guy that we think we should play. I actually think Virgil got. No, he didn't. I think Virgil got the same amount of assists last season than Diaz. I think Diaz got 4. Anyway, just thought I'd mention the Virgil thing, and he also played just an insane amount of football, Virgil. And the only games he missed is red cards, which wasn't a red card, if you ask me. But there you go. Midfield, just show you Stefan. The fact that Stefan just didn't play. No, Stefan's like a new player, by the way. Just want to tell you that as well. Like, we talk about not having new players. Stefan is like a new player because he didn't play at all. He played 20. How many minutes did he play? He played 25 minutes last season for us. The rest he was absent or on the bench. So Stefan's like a new player if he stays. Elliot, talked about Elliot not being played enough. The problem with Elliot was just subbed constantly. 13 minutes, 14 minutes, 32, 32, 24. Never came off the bench for West Ham or Tottenham. Sub. Fulham never came off the bench. Sub. Benched again. Elliot didn't get any injuries, didn't miss any games through suspensions or anything. Just, goal, man of the match, Luton. Goal, man of the match, Tottenham. VAR decision, which was a bit iffy against Villa. Just benched a lot. Next season, that's going to be a difference. He's going to be less bench, more game time. In some respects, he's probably like having a new player as well because he'll get played, and he's just benched constantly, just off the bench constantly all season. You can see how much. It's interesting. He hardly ever got started. There's Harvey. Endo. Show you Endo. Endo's numbers. Numbers. Where Endo kind of came in. Endo didn't wasn't there for the first game. Sub, then benched for Wolves, subbed again, benched again for these 2 games, benched again, subbed again, and then kind of came in and started playing for this patch. And then we lost him for the Asian Cup. So we lost him for these 3 games. Then he came back in again. He carried on playing all the way through. Then he was injured for Sheffield United, and then he just came back in and carried on. But as you can see, Endo's subbed a lot. So Endo clearly isn't the player that's going to be first team next year. Because to be fair, he wasn't first team last year. He was a squad player that was benched a lot. That was subbed a lot. So I think he's going to be, maybe comes off the bench next year. And just as you can see, he didn't play a huge amount of games, like a massive amount of games for us, really. Just to kind of put that in perspective, like he didn't play a huge amount last year fully as a first team player all the time. He was subbed a lot. The first like 10 games he was in and out, and then kind of came in and had a patch, and then kind of went back out again, and then he was missing for the Asian nations, and then he obviously came back in, and then he was subbed a lot. So I think it'll be the opposite way round. I think he'll be coming off the bench more if he stays. That's a little bit on Endo. Gravenberch, you can see that he wasn't involved at all for the first batch of games. Then he was a sub a lot, subbed again. So he came on as a sub, came off the bench, and then went off a lot, and then he was missing with an injury, and then he was subbed again. As you can see, Gravenberch is pretty much like a new player as well, because he was just not used much. He was either coming off the bench or coming on for a bit and going off. Didn't start for the first 5 games, and then was benched a lot, and then was missing with injury, and then was benched a lot again. He's pretty much like a new player next year, Gravenberch, if you ask me. The numbers don't lie. Like he got 1 goal in the Premier League last year. Like, seriously, he was terrible last year. 1 goal. He's like a new player for me. I think the Curtis Jones, I think this explains a lot. He needs a good season. He was missing so much. Like, if you just look at these numbers, he was benched a lot. He was injured a lot. Look, red card had missed him 3 games. Illness missed him 2 games. Jones just wasn't involved in the team last year, really. He had this little patch here where he got played regularly and he got a goal, man of the match. He still got subbed a lot, but we won a lot of games with him. And then he was out with an ankle injury and missed a big patch of games here, and then he was just a bit part player as a sub, and he never really regained his place in the team. Curtis Jones needs to be used more, but he needs to be managed more. So if he does get an injury, then we make sure we give him as much time off, or we use him more sparingly as a squad option. But for me, that's the reason why we didn't do as well last year, because he wasn't involved as much. He could have been different. McAllister's missed quite a lot as well with a knee injury here, this patch here. I mean, I know we won all these games, but we did draw a few. So if McAllister was available for Arsenal, Man United, that would have been a different story. Let's all be honest here. Like, it would have been a different story. He got a knee injury, missed all these games. He had an accumulation of yellow cards and missed that game, but that doesn't matter really. He obviously got a red card in that game. McAllister wasn't heavily involved in goals and assists at all until the latter half of the season, as you can see here, which is where he came into his own and started getting assists, goals, heavily involved here. Look, goal and man of the match against Man City. He missed the Arsenal game and the Man United game. Could have been a different story. Could have been a different story with him in the team. This is the difference. Like, having these guys available. That's what I'm trying to show you. These guys weren't available for big games. Dominic Szoboszlai. I know we got our criticisms about him, but I kind of show you where he fell off. Started like a house on fire. Playing in a different position than what he's actually suited for, if I'm honest. Obviously got a goal against Villa, you know, a good run of games there, 2 assists against Forest, man of the match, then sub, goal, Sheffield United, sub again. Then he's absent with a thigh injury. Have you noticed it's the same injury? I feel like he was brought back too soon in these games and he was still injured. That's what I feel. He was injured still and he shouldn't have played because he reoccurred the same injury. Then he missed a huge chunk here. And then I still don't think he was fit for these because if you look, he was constantly subbed all the way through to the end of the season. Constantly subbed. Oops. And never really got back into the team, as you can see. I think the mismanagement here accumulated in him missing this patch and then him not having the fitness and still being injured for this chunk. And he didn't really have a deciding factor in any of these games because he was subbed a lot or benched a lot, who came off the bench. It's interesting. It's interesting. Just showing you the players, and obviously Thiago, just a complete waste of space. Played 5 minutes last season. Can you see that? 5 minutes and then done. What was the point? Cost us nearly 10 million in wages. He did. Just put that into perspective. Show you Luis Diaz. Just so you can see how heavily involved Luis Diaz was last season. Really started well. If you notice, Luis Diaz just gets subbed all the time. Just keeps on getting subbed off again. Missed that game. Not sure why. Maybe that was an international and he wasn't fit. Maybe sub all the way. Never gets man of the match really in games. Diaz. As you can see, he just played constantly. He was available the whole season. He's always involved. Goals, assists, team of the week, but not man of the match. Just like, okay, I understand. Like, I do understand that, like, that you play your players, but this guy wasn't scoring and assisting in important games like Manchester United and Arsenal, and also Man City. Like he wasn't involved in any of these games with assisting goals. So there should be a time where you go, you know what? It's time to play it. It's time to play a Capco. It's time to play a new guy there. You know, it's time to change things. Like, as in change them, as in swap the player out completely and give someone else a go. But it never happened. But we'll see next year. Jota, real shame with Jota, as you can see here. Heavily involved, goal, subbed again, but a goal. Obviously got red carded at Tottenham. Missed the Brighton game. Could have been a different game if he'd played. Back in the team. Goal. Then was out with a muscle injury. Missed a huge patch here. Arsenal, Manchester United, as obviously would have been different. Came back in. Goal, assist, goals. Obviously, the Arsenal game was a stinky one. Got another goal, got another assist, just hugely involved. Then another knee injury puts him out for the rest of the season. Yeah, he comes back in probably when he shouldn't have, if I'm honest, and then gets a goal in this game. Misses a big chance at Palace, by the way, but I don't think he should have been played. Like, he shouldn't have been in the team. He was still injured, and then he was injured for the rest of the season again. So it's like, you manage Jota better, you're probably going to score a lot more goals and win a lot more games. And that's just the fact. Having a fit Jota changes things. That's an interesting one. The management of him will make a difference. I'm nearly finished, by the way. Cody Hapko, just so you can see that he was available. He was injured once last season. He was injured for the Brighton and the Everton game. Could have made a difference if he wasn't injured for Brighton, by the way. Just used as a sub for Diaz, pretty much, by the way. Sub. Scored a goal. Played all over the park, by the way. Remember, he's played in midfield, he's played on the right, he's played as a centre forward. He was hardly ever played as a left winger. As you can see, left midfield, played once, played twice there, then just forward again. The left midfielder actually isn't the winger. It's actually the left of the midfield. So he was the further forward midfielder. Hakpo was just a sub constantly all season. Like you get a Cody Gakpo on the pitch more in his better position on the left. I think you got more goals. I think you got more assists. I just feel you have. He wasn't used as much. We know that he wasn't used in the right position at all. We know that. That's a different player next year for us. Sorry, I just took myself completely out of the studio. I'm just going to reshare the screen. Where are we? 2 seconds. So I'm just resharing the screen again. Okay. So Cody Gakpo, we're now going to cover Darwin Núñez, and then we've got Salah, and then we're done. Okay. And then Jamie's show starting in 5 minutes. So I suggest you all go over there and check out his show. Obviously, Darwin Núñez started like a house on fire, but just didn't score enough goals. I'm sorry, like wasn't involved in these games really. Got 2 goals against Newcastle. Got an assist against Villa, and then was benched. Then scored against West Ham, and then was benched. Like, scored against West Ham, and then you got benched against Tottenham. Like, make that make sense, please. Like, the guy's on form, and then you bench him, and then you bring him back in for Brighton, and he gets an assist, and then you play him against Everton, and he gets an assist, and then he gets a goal against Forest. You know, and then he gets an assist against Brentford. You know, it's a weird one. It's just a weird one, like the way you managed him. Like, you play him or you don't. Like, you know. Anyway, he's in and out all over the place, scoring goals, creating. Very rarely get a man of the match. He didn't get man of the match once, by the way, apart from the Newcastle game. So you got man of the match once last season, and then you just benched him a lot, and you brought him on as a sub, and you kind of just dumped him at the end of the season there, really. Different Nunes next season. I think he'll be rotated more with Jota, but in the right way. I think Nunes will be used as a flat track bully, like Suarez was, where he'll just be used in the lesser games to just batter teams, and he will. And Jota will be used in the bigger games because he's more structure, he's more involved in the play, can create more. I just think managing those two players better will help us next season. And don't drop players if they're on form, like you did with Nunes. Like, it completely dents his confidence, and then he goes into a shell again. Like, mismanaged hugely last season. And then you've got Salah, and I'll just show you kind of the difference in Salah, which is an interesting one. Okay, so the start of the season, an assist, a goal, an assist, a goal, 2 assists, a goal. Subbed him at Tottenham. Tottenham was a weird one. 2 goals, 2 goals, a goal. Didn't do well at Luton. 2 goals, an assist, subbed, goal and an assist, a goal, 2 goals and assist. Like seriously, like, and we were sat here talking about Salah saying he was crap. Like, are you having a giraffe? Like, massively, massively better than any other player at Liverpool up front, just by a country mile, just by looking at the numbers. And just look at the man of the matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're still only halfway through the season. Crazy, crazy. And then he got an injury. And he was out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Brought him back way too soon. Poor management again, and we know it was poor management. But he still scored a goal and got an assist and got man of the match, even though he was brought on as a sub and shouldn't have, and then missed 2 games because of that, and then was probably not fully fit for the Manchester City game, but he was still involved, and then scored again, like, and then, fell off a cliff, to be fair, but the whole team kind of fell off a cliff. But he was probably still not fit because he got brought back too soon, and then probably got brought back too soon again. Managing Salah better and keeping him fit and keeping him firing and taking him out of games, because he's not your mate now. He doesn't need to play every single minute of every single game. Slot can take him out of the game because he hasn't got that affiliation with him where, oh, he's my mate, I love him, I signed him. Slot can go, you're knackered, you need to be rested for the next game, you've already scored a goal, you can rest now. Having Salah managed better next year is going to be huge. Having Virgil van Dijk managed next year is going to be huge. Having Jota managed better next year is going to be huge. Having Dominic Szoboszlai and McAllister and Trent and all of these players managed better is going to be huge for Liverpool, and Alisson. It's going to be huge. Like, we talk about all of these players we need to sign. All of these players were injured last year for so long. Like, so many players were injured. I've showed you how many games they've missed. If they're not missing, we are winning the league. We are winning trophies with this squad because we can see how many games they've missed. And these injuries, a lot of them are muscle injuries, which means that they were overplayed. Like, they're not broken legs. They're not fractured things. Like, obviously the shoulder injuries, they're freak injuries, both of those. Like, we can see that. There's a lot of muscle injuries. There's a lot of thigh injuries. There's a lot of hamstrings. There's a lot of thigh injuries, by the way. Like, that happens a lot, and that's due to being run to the ground too much. So managing the players better next year is going to be a huge factor in why we got slot and why we will do better. And I am finished now because it's midnight. And after this, you should all go over to Jamie's show and watch him. And you're right, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And their injuries are a huge cause. Mitigate them, and just I've shown you how bad, how many games players missed last season. You can see it with your eyes. Like, it's a deciding factor. Okay. You all take care. I will catch up with you again soon. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do. And if you want more football, go over to Jamie's show and watch him. He's now live. And I will see you again soon. Take care. Good night.